To another episode of Storytelling, Isolation Motivation, where I speak life to your life, the positive mind. This is Shihan, Robin, Man of Steel, and welcome to another episode of Storytelling, where I speak life to your life and I try to make you feel happy and bring another level of consciousness as we go through these times with the quarantine and being isolated from COVID-19. I hope you like and share these stories. I have said many stories before. You can go back and look at them. And today I have another story for you. Maybe you might know this one, but this one also affected me and touched me in a very, 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 very deep way as a child growing up, and have made me come to realize what I need to do as a son when my mom was dying from cancer, when I had to take care of her until her last breath. And so that story really changed my life in making me forgive my mother, because my mother and I, we never had a close relationship. We never had a relationship like a mother and a son. Like, you know, sons are normally close to their mom, but my mother and I, we were not that close. I lived with her for some time, but that's another story for another day. But I just want to share with you the different stories that made me the person that I am today, where I come to speak life to people, life, and why I do what I do, and so on and so forth. Your subscription, your likes, your comments motivate me and inspire me to keep growing and keep growing. And I want to share this story with you. There was a mother, and she was very poor, uneducated. She had nothing, but she had one son, and she would do anything for that son, so that son would become successful and that son could grow and become somebody important in society, to take shame out of her eyes as a mother who never completed high school, as a mother who never went to college and university. But one day they were in a car accident in a taxi, and the accident was so bad that nobody else got hurt except her son, her only beloved son. And she felt so miserable inside that she said she cannot have her son growing up like this, growing up blind, cannot see, he's just going to be handicapped. And she couldn't stand the fact that other children were going to make fun of her son. So when she was in the hospital, she told the doctors to take her eyes and give it to her son, because she's already old and her son is very young and her son is coming up. And the doctor said, "Are you sure you want to do this, Mom?" And she said, "Yes, I would love my son to see the world. I would love my son to travel the world with two perfect eyes with 20/20 vision." And so the doctor performed the surgery, and the doctor was a friend of the family, and the son was able to see. After a few weeks, the surgery was successful, and that son became so ashamed of his mother that he would never bring home his friends. He would never bring home his girlfriend. And that mother felt so bad, but she never told him what happened. She never told him why she was blind. And that son went on to college and went on to university and went on to become a successful person in society. And the mother was so heartbroken. The mother wanted to see her grandson and her granddaughter. And the mother decided to go over to his house because she found out where he was living. She had to travel many, many miles by train, 2 days to be exact, so that she could see her son, or feel her son rather, because she was blind. And when she reached to the house, they brought her to the house, and she rang the doorbell. The little children ran to the door, opened the door and said, "Who is it?" And she felt that happiness in her heart, and she felt that warmth. Oh wow, she could hear the sound of her grandchildren at the door. And when they opened up the door, he ran to the door at the same time, and he saw it was his mother. But by then the children had already seen the person and said, "Dad, there's an old lady in rags at the front door. What should we do?" And the dad ran down to see who this old lady was, and it was his mom. And he said, "What are you doing here? Didn't I say don't get over here? What do you want? I have no money. What do you want from me? Get away from my children. Get away from me." And he slammed the door in that old lady's face, which was his mother. And his daughter and son said to him, "Father, why were you so angry? Who is that mother? Who is that person? Who is that old lady?" And he said to his children, "That's a nobody. Don't worry about it. Go upstairs and do your homework." And that the mother outside the door hear everything that the dad was saying. She turned around, bowed her head, and she went back on her train and traveled 2 miles. Later that year, the mom fell ill and died. And she left a note for her son. She asked the doctor to write a note for her son. And in the funeral, well, he had to bury his mother because she had no money. She had nobody else. The doctor went up to him and said, "I have a letter here from your mom that she asked me to write to you. And I would like you to read it when you get back home." And so the funeral went on, and the father took the letter from the doctor and said, "Thank you very much." And when he was in his house, he read the letter, and the letter read, "Son, I just want to let you know how much I love you. I just want to let you know how much I cared for you. I cared for you so much that I gave up my own eyesight for yours. Because when you were a little boy, there was a very bad accident and you were very badly hurt and you were blind. And so I take my eyes and I gave to you so you could see the world. And I'm so happy that you became so successful and you became everything that I dream of. Love, your mom." And the father was so devastated, he had a nervous breakdown. What's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is, a lot of times, we do not appreciate the love. We do not appreciate the things that our parents have gone through to make us who we are today. My mother never wanted me when I was a kid. My mother used to say to me, "I wish I'd had an abortion. I wish I'd throw you away. I wish I never had you." And when my other sibling, my little brother and my little sister would go and hug my mother would shun me away when I come to hug her. "Get away from me." And I was 27 years old when my mom said she first loved me, and she was under the influence of alcohol, because my mom was like this lady. And I tried my best to earn my mother's love, and my mother died not telling me that she loved me. And that's another story by itself. And by the time she tried to realize that I was really there for her, and I was the one that really cared for her and was doing mostly everything for her on her dying bed, even before she died from cancer. While she was in the hospital, I said to her, "Mommy, I loved you. I love you so much. I love you, and I want you to be happy. And I want you to know that I forgive you for everything that you have done and said to me." And my mother started to cry while she was in her dying bed. And I'm sorry, but everything I do in this world today is to honor my mother. The story is the flip side, where the son was ungrateful, but on this other side was my mom, and I forgave my mother. And that was the best thing I ever did. I stayed homeless and built a house for her so she could be comfortable, because she was poor, she had nothing. And I really take care of her. And the most beautiful I ever saw my mom was when she died. That's the most beautiful I ever saw her, dressed up in makeup, and I thought she was just sleeping. I'm sharing this story with you because I want to encourage you and I want to motivate you that time is short. Children, respect your parents. Treat your parents with love and treat your parents with respect, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And parents, love your children no matter what. No matter how difficult it is, because you never know what will happen tomorrow. I want you to understand that life is short. And don't be like that guy, that ungrateful son that lived with regrets. Because the worst thing you can live with is regret. And I did not want to live with regret. I did not want to live with that heavy heart, knowing that I know better than my mom, and I couldn't tell my mother that I forgave her when I was smarter, wiser, have more understanding. Find it in your heart to forgive. Now you are in isolation during the quarantine of the coronavirus. Meditate and find it in your heart, because you never know who could get this virus. Forgive someone or ask for forgiveness. Forgive yourself. I just wanted to share this story with you, and I hope it touched you. And if it did touch you in some way, please subscribe, please leave a like, please leave a comment. I do appreciate you, and I appreciate your support. It gives me great courage to speak life to your life today. Isolation, motivation, the positive mind. Shihan Robin, Man of Steel. Until next time.